Hello, hello, another Friday night. So glad I'm on here. Gonna share another makeup tutorial with you guys using Seint Beauty products. So right now, what I did is I just used our setting spray, which is the Seint setting spray. And I filled in my eyebrows just a little bit. I had them microbladed, so I don't have to do too much to them. But if I just want them to be a little bit darker, a little bit bolder, I will. Like if I'm not wearing a lot of makeup, then I don't really worry about it, because right now they kind of look dark compared to how with me not having any makeup on. But once I get my makeup on, I like for them to be just a little bit more bold. Now I'm going to use the Farmasi Pro Fit eyeshadow primer. This is the same steps that I do each time in the beginning of my tutorials. And this is just going to give us a good base to put our eyeshadow on. It'll cover up any discolorations, and it'll also help your eyeshadows stay on longer, and it'll give the colors a little more of a pop. Okay, we're just gonna dive right in. We are gonna dive right in. So, like I said, Seint Beauty. This is what I'm gonna use tonight, pretty much, and my sponge. So, this is our 3D brush. I don't use this a lot because it's not my favorite, but it's still a great brush, and everyone raves about it. So I always think I don't give it enough face time for me. I don't use it enough. And then I use it and I'm like, oh yeah, I do like this. And then I use the other brushes. I'm like, no, that's why it's my least favorite. It's still a good one. It's just not one of my favorites. All our brushes are good. So we're gonna get started. So this is the palette I'm gonna be putting on my face tonight. Crazy colors, right? So this is gonna be my main highlight shade of Amber. This is gonna be my brightening highlight shade Aura. This is my contour Olive. My Bella bronzer, the Lip and Cheek Royal is really pretty. It's a glossy texture, love it. And then my illuminator is Angel. And then on the other side, because this is dual-sided of my compact, so this is a metal, it's a magnetic compact. And then these little tins, they just pop in and out. So you can move stuff around, change it. Once you run out of one thing or you want to add something else, you just pop it in and out. Super easy. It's customizable to you. So if you want to color match, just let me know and I can tell you exactly what you would need, and then even give you eyeshadow recommendations for, your eyes, for the color of your eyes. So I'm also going to use these 4 eyeshadow colors. And then here is my Vanilla Dust setting powder, and then here's my little brush cleaning towel when I go in between colors. So let's get started. I'm going to start first with, I think I'm going to use my all over color first, my main highlight. I'm just pouncing this, and I'm just going to kind of stipple it on. I won't really blend it much until I get all my colors on and I get it mapped out on my face. You kind of just paint with Seint. But I'm going to kind of leave this area blank because that's where my contour will go. Now sometimes if you need extra coverage, like I do have discoloration there, so if I wanted to lightly just kind of dust over that, I could. But our contours have pigment in them too. So you really don't have to worry about it being too sheer or anything, because they have coverage. And a lot of contours don't. So we're going to go on each side of my nose. And then I'll go right kind of in the middle of my forehead, because my contour will go up here and then my brightener will go right there. And I can always go back and add any more that I want to when I need it. So the kind of genius behind this is really just placing the colors where you need them. So sometimes you may need some extra color here, a little bit extra coverage there, or a color corrector. So you just kind of work with what you need. So now I've pretty much got my main shade all over where I need it. So now I'm going to go in. I'm going to use go ahead and use my contour, and then I'm going to use the same side of the brush, and I'm just dipping in that. And then I'm going to go find my cheekbones. Here's the top of my ear, and it comes down. You can kind of see the indentation or the shadow already. I'm going to kind of go along that shadow, but a little bit right above it. And I'm only going to start from this side where my eye is and go back towards my ear, right along that cheekbone. It's actually right on the bottom of it. Same goes for this side. See the little indentation right there? I'm going to follow right along, back up to the ear. Hey, Leanne. What you doing, girl? All right, now I'm going to go right here along the very top of my forehead. And again, this is the color Olive, which this is the color. I can use a lot of the contour colors. But when I see your skin tone, if you send me a picture, I can tell you which one would look best on you. But to be honest, the more you play with this makeup, the more you love it. You'll get a little more bold, and you'll start kind of branching out and saying, you know what, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to do this. So I'm going to also do this right along my jawline, just because I like to have a little bit of a definition. Wedding planning. Ooh, that's fun. And stressful. And expensive. And I'm going to contour this one little area right here. Now you can also right here, like if you need some extra in your neckline, you can always pinch it together and even drag down and kind of on each side of your throat. Yeah. And kind of drag that down. And that'll give you a little more defined look as well. I didn't put a lot on there because I don't do that a whole lot, just sometimes. Because I already have a lot of these little neck rolls, so I don't fool with it. Just make sure you kind of blend that out. I try to blend this as I go along because sometimes I forget. So now that I've got my contour on, I'm going to go in now with my brightening highlight, and I'm going to flip over to this pointier end. And I'm going to go right up under my eye, and I'm just going to kind of give a little smear. I'm not using a lot of product. I'm just touching into it barely. And then I'm even going to go down the center of my nose, because I'll do a little bit of contour on my nose, and I'll just kind of hit the sides of that with my olive contour in a minute. I'm just kind of brightening the center of my face. 5 weeks. Oh my goodness. It is so fun though. Weddings are just beautiful, you know, to celebrate love. That's fun. And those memories that you're creating are going to last a lifetime doing that. Okay. A little scary, right? So I can go back if I want to and add a little bit more of my main highlight if I think I didn't get enough, or if I want to put a little bit more contour, but for me, that's fine. I'm just going to leave it as is because I'm fixing a bronze too. If I ever feel like my makeup is too light, I will sometimes, or my skin, because I feel like I'm washed out, I will go in and then I will end up doing some bronzing before I put the makeup on, or I will just go to town when I bronze afterwards. And so I will probably bronze a pretty good bit. But I'm just now going to blend everything together. And I'll do my nose contour in just a minute too. Now you could do your eyeshadow first, and this right here would really clean it up. But when I do my eyeshadow first, then I can't be as messy and sloppy as kind of just poking around all over my face as I'm blending it out. So I like to do my eyeshadow last. And now I'm going to go in, I'm going to kind of blend that contour. And if I wanted to add a little bit more, I can, if I think I need it. But I don't do heavy contour, so I'm good. I am going to go, and I'm going to use my fingers, and I'm just going to tap into that, just for a light contour, and then I'm going to go right up my nose. See how those lines are really close together? I mean, they're almost on top of each other, right? I'll kind of slightly blend that out. Let me put a little bit on the tip. I will slightly blend that out. Not a lot, just a little. And then I'll go back down the center. Touched my finger into my brightening, which was Aura. And then I'll kind of okay. So that's pretty much my face. I've contoured, I've highlighted, and I've put on my base foundation. So there we go. And now I'm gonna do a quick bronzing. We'll do some lip and cheek and some eyeshadows, and we'll call it done. So this is my Bella bronzer. I usually like to use this bronzer brush. This is what I always suggest for everyone because I think it's just easy to use, and it's just, you can use everything in the palette. I guess you could use it with all our brushes, but I feel like this is the easier. But I'm going to use this. So I'm going to pounce into that Bella bronzer, and then I'm just going to kind of go around the places that I want it bronzed. And it's really basically where I contoured. And then I like for my neck too. That's why I like the big brush with that big fluffy brush, is I can go down my neck good. And I can get my hair too. I can bronze my hair if I want to. I'm multi-talented like that. But I always try to drag the bronzer, especially down my neck, because my neck is a lot lighter. So now that I have that, I could go in and I could even blend it out with my Perfector sponge. Any damp beauty sponge will work. This one's really good, and it's a great price. All of our stuff is really, really good price, especially if you can compare it to a lot. But now I'm going to go in and I'm going to kind of blend this out. And I always go back at the very end and go over everything with my Perfector sponge as well, because I feel like it does a great job of really blending any kind of harsh line that I have. And that Bella bronzer is so pretty, and it's sheer. It's not any coverage to it. It is just a sheer kind of a glowy color. So you can really lay it on thick if you want to, as thick as you want. Something's on my nose. But it blends out so easily. So I feel like I have instant color. Isn't that nice? Something's on my nose. Or maybe it's on my eyelash. I keep saying something. I don't know. Okay. So now I'm going to go with my Perfector sponge and go around real quick and just press it into my skin. This is damp. And now I'm going to use my lip and cheek color in the color Royal. Same brush. Let me do a couple more little taps like that. And I'm just going to go right on pretty much top of my cheekbone as well. Right above where I contoured. And then I'm going to use the same color on my lips. This is such a pretty color, and it's a gloss. It's a glossy color too. I just love it. So now I'm going to use my finger. It's almost kind of like a light little berry stain. But it's so pretty. So pretty on. I don't know why I don't use it more than what I do, because I fell in love with it when I first started using it. And then, of course, I get to where I want to, I love everything else, too. Okay, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to powder. I'm going to use the Vanilla Dust. This is it's just a pressed powder. It's finely milled, but it's pressed. Fits into your compact, too. I'm actually going to use my Perfector sponge when I apply that. So I'm just going to take my damp Perfector sponge and I'm going to swap it into that. And that's what I'm going to set up under my eyes. And just anywhere that I think that I need to set, that I don't really want to move, or that I might get oily. And if I was going to be out and about in the hot, or like going to a ball game or something like that, I would probably use a loose powder for just a little bit of extra mattifying. But for the sake of sticking it in your compact and being done with it, this is all you need. And I'm an oily person, so if I can use it like this, I think probably the majority of people can. And it's really good too, because this is good for setting under your eyes. It's got a little bit of a brightening agent too. So now that I got that, I'm still going to use the same sponge. And now I'm going back over to my color Angel. It's my illuminator. And I'm going to do a swap in it. And then I'm going to pop that right along the very high points of my cheekbones. And then even down the bridge of my nose. Just for some extra bright. And then I'll do a little bit on my Cupid's bow. And then if I wanted to, I could even pop a little bit in the center of my lips. So that's my face in a nutshell. I've powdered, I've bronzed. I mean, I've done everything. So we'll do a quick eye look and we'll be done. So what I'm going to do first with my eyes is I'm going to tight line the top of it just in the outer area. And I'm sorry if this bothers people looking, so you might want to look away, but I'm just kind of going right on the inside. This will give the illusion that my eyelashes are a little bit thicker. And now I'm going to use the two brushes that I think I'm going to use. For sure, I'm going to use the eyeshadow brush, which is this one's really good. And then this one is the smudge brush. And I really like this one too, because this one's dense, and so you can kind of pack the color on that you need to. So, but we're going to start with this one first. The fluffy end, of course. Flipping over to my other side, where it's got my powders. And at first, I'm going to start with this color, Valencia. It's kind of like a creamsicle. And I'm just going to go in back and forth. I can kind of be messy with it. It doesn't matter. This is just my transition, so I don't care that it gets on my lid or goes high on my brow bone. I just want this to help when I start trying to blend the other colors on. And it's a real pretty light peach shade. It's just a creamsicle color and it's really pretty. Okay, now I'm going to go and I'm going to put this color Stardust, this shimmer. I'm going to put this on my eyelid, on the inner half. Man, Stardust is so pretty too. God, I love this color. Okay, now I'm going to use the dome shape, the small dome shape, and I'm going to go in the color, I think this is Rigoletto. Kind of flip-flop before, back and forth between Rigoletto and Fan. Yeah, this is Rigoletto. So this is the one I'm going to use. I'm just going to use this little pencil end, and then I'm going to just kind of pop it on out here in the outer, and then I'll blend it in a minute. I may just stop with these 3 colors. I had Philly too, because I love Philly as well, but I think I may just stop here. I'm also going to take that Rigoletto and do it under my eye. Oh, I bet everybody's at the ball games tonight. It is, I think it may be our homecoming. I don't think I even realized that. I've not been on social media. It's just tons. I've done a little bit and kind of popped off, and I haven't really been super active to see, but I saw some homecoming pictures today, and I was like, well, I was out of the loop. I'm just going back with a little extra fin, or Rigoletto on the outer. I'm going to try to be done with this shortly because Instagram has a 15-minute cap. And I like to always cut these, be able to put this video on there. So I have to cut this one down so that I can get it on. I don't know why they changed something and now I can't do it. All right. So now that I've got that, I'm going to go back real quick with this same pencil that I lined my waterline with. And I'm going to just kind of go over and outline. I'll line my eyes on the top. Just kind of thin. I don't do thick eyeliner. And now I'm going to go in with my Thrive Cosmetics. This is now going to be my lower line. This is an eye brightening pen. And the color Stella. Man, I love this pen. I've had it for at least 2 years. I don't use it, you don't use a lot of it when you do use it. Let me go up here. And if you ever have any cleanup that you need to do, you can just use the brushes and stuff that you use for other things. So you can just go back through and just kind of sweep it. Sweep it where you need it. The creams, they'll move. That's the awesome thing about creams, is that they move. All right, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna curl these babies real quick like. This is a tough crowd tonight. I don't know where everybody's at. Of course, that probably helps me to get done quicker. But I can talk to a lamppost, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go in. This is the Essence. It's a volume booster, but it's a lash primer, and it's really good. It's vegan. I'm just kidding. I don't know if it's vegan or not. I'm sure it is. Everything is these days. And I don't put a whole lot on. I've got one eyelash primer that really will goop on. And now I'm going to go in with the Lash Princess. This is the false lash effect. Oh my gosh, these are so good. And I'm going to line the lower lashes. And the top. And I love this because this mascara is so inexpensive and does a great job. Such a good job. And I find myself reaching for it almost every single time. That's it. That's how it goes. So this is kind of just a basic neutral eye. I use 3 colors. I'm gonna go back one more time. Do some quick pounces. Quick pounces. But I love that royal. I mean, it's glossy. It's got a little tacky texture. It's so pretty. And then the eye is such an easy eye too, with just 3 colors. that would look good on all eye colors. So there you go, people. If you're interested, if you want to have a party and earn some free makeup, or if you want to try it, if you're local and you want to do a makeover, shoot me a message. We'll for sure get together, because I'm pretty flexible. And or if you just want a virtual color match, I have matched now a good amount of faces, so I'm pretty confident in it. So all you have to do is send me a makeup-free selfie. Make sure it's in good lighting, you know, standing at a window or something. You don't want the sun beaming directly on your face, but just kind of step back from a window, have a good lighting, take a selfie, you know, at arm's length, and then you can send it to me, and I can tell you exactly what you need. So thanks for watching on this quiet as crickets Friday night, but I will see you guys later.